I'm Nick, and I'm the Bachelor.
This week, people got to sit down with season 21 Bachelor, Nick Viall, and of course, the woman of his dreams.
I have two wonderful women that my heart loves very much. But now I'm ready to make this very difficult and heartbreaking decision.
The woman who got the final rose.
I do love you. I'm in love with you.
The one, the only.
Vanessa Grimaldi, will you marry me?
Welcome to the People Magazine shoot. I'm Nick.
I'm Vanessa.
And we are
engaged.
Season 21 of The Bachelor starred 36-year-old Nick Viall.
Nick is no stranger to all the Bachelor and Bachelorette fans out there. Just 3 years ago, he was an unknown tech salesman from Milwaukee, and this season of The Bachelor will be his 4th appearance in the franchise.
I don't care how many times I have to try.
I'm gonna give America a happy ending.
Viewers, of course, remember first meeting Nick in 2014 on Andy Dorfman's season of The Bachelorette.
Thank you so much.
I'm happy to give it to you.
I'm like ecstatic.
Are
right
you?
now. Oh my God,
Oh,
totally.
good.
Nick made it all the way to the final 2, and he was ready to buy Andy a ring until she crushed his heart.
I woke up excited and scared a lot this morning, but I woke up so confident. Just because of us.
Then on the live show, Nick stunned everybody, including Andy, when he told the entire world that they had been intimate.
I'm just not sure why you made love with me. I don't.
Well, first of all, I think that's kind of below the belt. I think that's something that should be private and kept private.
So then in 2015, Nick was back, this time trying to win the hand and the heart of Caitlin Bristow.
Like, I just care about this, and like, I came here for you. Like, it's very simple, it's very clear.
At the beginning of the season, Nick was nowhere to be seen. He wasn't one of the original suitors that showed up. So when he came in out of nowhere, a couple of episodes in,
I don't like do this 4 weeks in and like make these guys feel like disrespected.
So the story goes, Nick was communicating with Caitlin kind of on the sly and had her convince producers to bring him onto the show midway through the season. So that caused a lot of controversy and some uncertain feelings about who Nick was and why he was on the show.
the guys were obviously pissed.
You had your season.
Okay?
Why you want another one?
Well, it has to do with Caitlin.
Anytime someone comes onto the show under special circumstances like Nick did, you're not gonna make many friends. He didn't gel that well with a lot of the guys, but he did get very close to finding true love.
So once again, Nick makes it all the way to the end. He's at the final rose ceremony, and again, he gets his heart crushed.
Caitlin. No? All right.
So Nick continued his run with the franchise of Bachelor. He became part of Bachelor in Paradise in 2016.
People think I'm the villain. I'm not.
I'm coming to Paradise because I'm curious and hopeful about what it could bring.
So Bachelor in Paradise is almost like the more scandalous, the more admittedly guilty pleasure version of The Bachelor. It's really less about finding some sort of romantic sense of love and more about kind of the sleaze and the drama that goes on between these players that we've all come to know and love.
Yeah, everybody's getting naked.
Well, that's the idea.
This time, even though he had had his heart broken twice, it would be Nick that did some of the heartbreaking.
I just feel like something's telling me to say goodbye.
So the third time was unfortunately not the charm for poor Nick. After getting his heart broken over and over again, the tables were finally turned.
Please give it up for your new Bachelor. Come on out.
And he got his shot to be the Bachelor.
As soon as I was asked to be the Bachelor, I had a lot of reluctance. Whatever the women think or whatever preconceived notions they have of me, I think my hope is that they come in with kind of a clean slate and an open mind.
Every season of The Bachelor, Bachelorette, the couple knows who they are way before the public does, and they have to keep the whole thing secret. We had to find out from them how they managed to keep this big secret for so long.
Keeping it a secret, I think at first was a little bit hard, especially going home to such a big family, to my coworkers, to my students. But everyone's been really respectful. No one has really asked any questions. So keeping it a secret hasn't been that difficult for me.
I certainly told my parents, it's a very small group of very close friends. And, other than that, it was fine kind of keeping a secret. So it wasn't too hard for me.
When people sat down with Nick and Vanessa, obviously the first thing that we wanted to ask them was, when did you guys know each other was the one?
I knew from our first one-on-one that there was something different there. especially like after getting sick. So not sexy. He was there to take care of me, and he was very sweet about it. So I knew from that moment on that there was something there between us.
That whole first one-on-one was pretty epic. That particular date, because of the way the date was set up, you know, us kind of doing that zero gravity, there was a lot of off-camera kind of instructional time that we had to do, but in a weird way that was some great moments, because those are very rare moments in Bachelor world.
Through the whole season, we saw this great chemistry between Nick and Vanessa. A lot of that being that they were able to pull each other out of their comfort zones in different ways. I think that's a really good sign of confidence for them making it as a couple.
Of course, on her way to finding true love, Vanessa had some pretty stiff competition.
I hear you like a good hump, and I definitely can't wait to talk to you more inside.
I want to choke you so bad.
And then, of course, there was Corinne.
Corinne is one of the most epic contestants to ever be on any Bachelor franchise. She has so many one-liners.
My heart is gold, but my vagine is platinum.
The platinum vagine obviously takes the cake. She had the nanny, Raquel, who turns out to be a very special person in her life, but still her nanny.
The girls use Raquel as a, something against me.
Corinne was just epic from start to finish. She will not be soon forgotten, and I guarantee we will see a lot more of her on some Bachelor franchise somewhere.
Of course, Rachel was the fan favorite.
So we love Nick and Rachel. They shared a romantic sleigh ride in Finland. They shared a romantic night in the fantasy suites.
I feel good. I feel confident.
But in the end, it wasn't meant to be.
And just as Nick was saying goodbye to her, we found out that she's going to be the first African-American bachelorette on the next season of the show. Raven came really close to stealing Nick's heart. I mean, how could you not fall in love with Raven a little bit? She's so much fun. She's a fun-loving Southern girl. But for Nick, she just wasn't the one.
I know my heart's somewhere else.
As much as I cared about Raven, I felt like the answer became more and more clear that it was Vanessa.
So you can only imagine how difficult it must be watching the man you want to marry not only dating other women, making out with other women, go to the fantasy suite with other women. So we had to ask Vanessa how she dealt with that.
The factor I think that was kind of throwing me off was I was treating my relationship with Nick as if it was a real relationship in the real world. So I kind of had to step outside of the box and realize that, you know, it is normal for him to be dating other women in this world. It is normal for him to have feelings for other women in this world. So once I started to like internalize that and like process it, I was able to just concentrate on my relationship with him and realize, you know, what we have is special, and not to lose that feeling and not to lose that hope.
So Vanessa's hometown date in Montreal didn't go as smoothly as it could have. Vanessa's family, they're very traditional, they're very protective over Vanessa, and they indicated that she had been through a lot with some past relationships. So they want to make sure Nick is the real deal, that he's in it for the right reasons. They were not pushovers in the least.
Vanessa is an amazing person every way.
Her dad was not easy to please. He really put Nick through the ringer.
When you're gonna have kids of your own.
And made him prove to him why he should give his blessing if Nick should choose to propose to Vanessa.
I would feel comfortable with the young man to make that commitment and honor his commitment to my daughter.
One of the biggest issues between Nick and Vanessa as the season came to an end was where are they gonna live? She's from Montreal, she's very close to her family. He's originally from Wisconsin, but he's in LA, he's in Chicago. Lots of options as far as where they could live. We had to find out how they plan on resolving that.
Now that we're engaged, I'm planning on
Trying
and slowly transitioning to
LA.
Move to Los Angeles with Nick.
So when the big moment finally came for Nick, we were all pulling for him so hard.
And I'm just trying not to be afraid.
And we had to know what was going through his mind as he was minutes away from proposing.
I mean, I was very nervous. She looked beautiful, but I mean, I was very emotional. I mean, that was just, it was a very long day. It wasn't too long after saying goodbye to Raven. So there were emotions from that. You know, and I think in that world, the engagement day is not your ideal day, just because as the Bachelor, I think most people when they get engaged, there's a lot of great, exciting anticipation, and for me that was a very emotional roller coaster.
If I leave here alone, I'll be devastated, I'll be heartbroken.
All through their relationship on the show, Vanessa has not really been a pushover for Nick.
You know that coming on the show and being the Bachelor, there's a lot of speculation around you.
She's always reserved herself to some degree and pushed back on him when it seems like maybe he's not fully in it, and she's guarding her heart. It was really nice in this finale to see her let that guard down and fully give in to the feelings she clearly has for Nick.
If I do say yes, I say yes with my entire heart. Looking back at this whole process, you know, having those moments of highs and lows throughout the entire process, it was definitely worth it in the end, you know? I wanted to make sure that I questioned and, you know, treated this relationship as if it was a real relationship. I know it was like an unrealistic world, but I treated it as if it was a real relationship.
So we're obviously so excited for Nick and Vanessa's future, but we're also wondering what is next for them.
You know, we're very excited about the engagement, but we're also realistic about, you know, our relationship, you know, began in an environment that was very unconventional. And again, up until this point, we haven't had the opportunity to have any type of normalcy. And I think those are the things that we're focused on right now.
I have Nick Viall, The Bachelor.
Everyone knows at this point I'm doing Dancing with the Stars, which is very exciting. We'll see how long that lasts.
So maybe one of the greatest moments for Nick Viall in all of the Bachelor franchises and seasons that he's been a part of was that moment where he finally was able to say, look, I found true love, I have the ring, and I'm putting myself out there, and for it to be reciprocated this time and to have this really great finale, not only for this season, but for him and his story of love.
Love you.
Should we go start a life?
Let's go. Do it.
One thing, you know, having done this before, like, I don't think you have to pretend what this world isn't and what it is. And I think, you know, I think we're okay with saying we still have a lot to learn about each other, and that's okay. And we're excited about doing that. And so I think we want to focus more on that than anything else and, you know, keep moving our relation forward.